I am the king of this. I will bump into a chair and apologize to the chair. I'll apologize for asking a I want to start today's deep dive by taking us to a very specific, maybe a very uncomfortable place.
Okay.
It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. The house is quiet, but your brain is just absolutely screaming.
Mm-hmm.
You're replaying that one awkward thing you said in a meeting like 3 years ago. You're listing every single mistake you've made this week. You are basically putting yourself on trial, and the verdict is always guilty.
The witching hour of self-loathing. I think we have all been there.
Right. And here's the question that haunts me, and I think haunts a lot of us.
Wow.
Why is it that if a friend came to us with those exact same problems, the same mistake, the same insecurity, we would be the kindest people on earth?
Right.
We'd say, hey, you're human, you're doing great, don't even worry about it. We offer immediate grace to everyone else.
But when we look in the mirror, it's a completely different script.
Exactly. The script flips instantly. We become the harshest critic, the relentless bully. I mean, we say things to ourselves that, quite frankly, if we said them to another person, we'd get punched in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that grace so easy to export but so impossible to keep for ourselves?
It's the central paradox of the human experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are socially conditioned to be supportive community members, but we often lack the basic operating system to be supportive of ourselves.
Yeah.
We treat ourselves like employees we're trying to fire rather than partners we're trying to build a life with. And that disconnect, that gap between how we treat others and how we treat ourselves is exactly what we are tackling today.
We are diving deep into a book that confronts this head on. It's called Be Your Own Bestie, written by the social media creator Misha Brown. Now, I have to be honest with you right out of the gate.
Okay.
When I first saw that title, I rolled my eyes so hard I almost pulled a muscle. Be Your Own Bestie. It sounds like something printed on a glittery coffee mug.
It does have that initial approachable, almost sugary veneer. It sounds like a pop psychology slogan, but I'm glad you pushed past the cover, because once you open it up, what Brown is actually presenting is a fairly rigorous psychological framework.
Right.
He calls it the S.A.S.S method.
S.A.S., S.A.S.S. I do love a good acronym, even if I'm skeptical of the packaging. And the promise here is radical self-love. But based on the reading, this isn't just about bubble baths and, treating yourself to a large pizza because you deserve it.
Far from it. And I think that's a crucial distinction to make early on. True self-love is often quite boring and difficult. It's about behavioral change.
Yeah, correct.
So when we talk about the S.A.S.S method in this deep dive, I want you, the listener, to think of it less as a slogan and more as a roadmap. It's a structured way to move from insecurity and negative self-talk into designing a life you actually want to live.
So it's about moving from being your own worst enemy to
your own best friend.
And what I appreciate is where this is coming from. I mean, Misha Brown isn't writing this from some ivory tower. He didn't descend from a mountain with stone tablets of wisdom after a perfect life. This comes from the trenches.
That context is vital. Brown is very open about his own history. He talks about struggling with deep, paralyzing insecurity, navigating messy relationships where he accepted far less than he deserved, and just generally feeling lost regarding his life's direction. This method wasn't a theoretical exercise for him, it was a survival mechanism.
Right, he talks about this turning point. I feel like we've all had those. Or maybe we're desperately waiting for one. That moment where you look around at the rubble of your mindset and you realize, okay, this isn't working. I cannot keep living in this headspace.
And that rebuilding process is where the bestie metaphor actually does some heavy lifting psychologically.
It's easy to dismiss the word bestie as slang, but think about the mechanics of it. A best friend is a separate entity.
Right.
By telling you to be your own bestie, Brown is asking you to dissociate slightly.
Dissociate? That sounds a little clinical.
In a healthy way, I mean. He's asking you to step outside yourself and view you as a third person. It's an objectivity trick. When you're drowning in shame, you can't see clearly.
Okay.
But if you step out and look at yourself like you're looking at a friend, you gain perspective. You're detaching from the immediate emotion and looking at yourself like, hey, that person over there may deserve some backup. That is a really useful reframing. It's like objectifying yourself, but supportively. You stop being the victim of your thoughts and start being the guardian of the person having the thoughts.
Precisely. It creates a gap between the emotion and the reaction. But kindness alone isn't enough. You can be kind and still be lost. You need a strategy.
Which brings us to the S.A.S. method. We've got 4 steps here. The first S, this is where we start.
The first S stands for self-reflection.
Okay, self-reflection. This is the part where everyone nods and says, of course. But I feel like nobody actually knows how to do it. I can sit in a room and reflect for 3 hours and just end up thinking about what I want for lunch. What are we actually looking for here?
That is the common trap. Passive rumination is not reflection. In the S.A.S.S framework, self-reflection is the diagnostic phase. You aren't just daydreaming, you are hunting.
Hunting for what?
Specifically, you are hunting for 3 things. Limiting beliefs, unhealthy patterns, and emotional triggers.
Let's break those down, because limiting beliefs is another one of those buzzwords. Give me a concrete example.
Okay, let's say you're in a meeting and your boss gives you some critical feedback.
Right.
Not mean just, hey, change this.
My stomach just dropped even thinking about
Right.
it.
The trigger is the feedback. Now watch the pattern. If you shut down, stop listening, and spend the rest of the day convinced you're about to get fired, that is the unhealthy pattern.
I see.
And the limiting belief fueling it is likely something like, I am incompetent, or I'm an imposter and I've finally been caught.
Oof. Yeah, I've been on that ride. So this step is about catching yourself in that loop.
It's about auditing the loop. It's about writing it down. When X happened, I felt Y, and I told myself Z. You cannot fix a business if you don't look at the books, and you cannot fix your mindset if you don't acknowledge the data.
Right.
This step is about total honesty. It's about dragging those subconscious habits into the light.
And that's painful. It's not fun to admit, hey, I sabotage relationships when they get too close, or I procrastinate because I'm actually terrified of failure, not because I'm lazy.
It is incredibly uncomfortable. But Brown emphasizes that this must be the first step. You cannot skip to the sculpting the life you want part if you haven't identified the rot in the foundation.
Yeah.
If you try to build confidence on top of unresolved limiting beliefs, it will collapse.
So we've done the audit, we've looked at the books and seen that the accounts are a total mess. Now we move to the A in S.A.S.S.
Affirmations.
Affirmations.
Now, I can hear you, and probably the listeners, bracing themselves.
I am bracing myself. Affirmations have a serious PR problem. When I hear affirmations, I picture someone staring into a mirror, crying, chanting, I am a tiger. It feels forced. It feels delusional. If I stand there and say I'm a billionaire, my brain knows I'm lying.
That is a very valid skepticism.
Yeah.
And if you use affirmations that way, as magical thinking or delusion, they won't work. Your brain will reject them. But let's look at the mechanics of what Brown is suggesting here. The A isn't about lying to yourself. It's about rewriting code.
Explain that. How do we rewrite code without feeling like a fraud?
If step 1 was identifying the bugs in your software, the negative self-talk step 2 is writing the patch. It involves actively changing how you talk to yourself, but it has to be believable. It's about neuroplasticity.
Okay, lay the science on us.
Think of your brain like a hiking trail. If you have spent 20 years thinking, I'm stupid, every time you make a mistake, that path is a superhighway. It's paved. It's easy to walk down.
Right.
The path of I'm learning is covered in weeds. You haven't walked it.
So affirmations are just a machete.
Exactly. Affirmations are the machete. You are consciously hacking a new path. It feels fake at first because the path isn't established. But if you stop walking down the I'm stupid highway and force yourself to walk down the I'm learning path, eventually the glass grows over the old one.
So it's not about saying I'm perfect, it's about interrupting the default setting.
Yes, and let's connect back to the bestie concept. If your best friend walked into the room wearing a new outfit they loved, would you say, wow, you look ridiculous, everyone is going to laugh at you?
God, no, I'd be hyped for them. Even if it wasn't my style, I'd support their confidence.
Exactly. But if you put on that outfit, your internal monologue might say exactly that. Affirmations in this method are about aligning your internal speech with the speech of a supportive friend.
I see.
It's consciously choosing to say, I look good, or I am capable, to interrupt the bully living in your head.
So we're hacking the trail. We've looked inward with reflection. We've started changing the dialogue with affirmations. Now, the S.A.S.S method pivots. The third step, the second S, is standing your ground.
This is a critical shift in the framework. Steps 1 and 2 are internal work. They happen inside your head. You can do it on a desert island. Step 3 is where the rubber meets the road in the real world.
It's about interaction.
Yes, it's about interaction.
Standing your ground. This sounds fierce. It sounds confrontational.
It can be. It's about setting boundaries. But there is one specific detail in the book regarding this step that I think is absolutely brilliant and, frankly, very convicting for a lot of us.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. Is it the apology thing?
It is the apology thing.
Yeah.
Stop apologizing unnecessarily.
Oh, man. I am the king of this. I will bump into a chair and apologize to the chair. I'll apologize for asking a waiter for a fork. I'll apologize for existing in an elevator. Why do we do this?
It's a reflex of shrinking ourselves. We apologize for taking up space, for having needs, for being visible. Brown identifies this as a major leak in our self-worth bucket.
Yeah.
Every time you apologize, when you haven't done anything wrong, you are subtly reinforcing the idea that you are a burden. You're telling your subconscious, I am in the way.
Wow. Reinforcing the idea that you are a burden, that hits hard. So standing your ground is about stopping that leak.
It's about demanding respectful treatment. But notice the order of operations here. This is step 3. Why? Because you cannot effectively set boundaries if you haven't done step 2, rebuilding your confidence.
I see where you're going. If I still believe I'm worthless from step 1 issues and I'm telling myself I'm stupid from step 2 issues, I'm certainly not going to tell my boss to stop emailing me at 10 p.m.
Exactly. You won't do it. Self-worth is the prerequisite for boundaries. You will not defend a fortress that you think is empty. You have to believe there is something valuable inside you that is worth protecting. Once you believe that, saying no or please don't speak to me that way becomes a logical action, not a terrifying conflict.
That makes so much sense. It's a progression. You build the value, then you protect the value.
Yeah.
But I think this is where people get stuck. Because setting boundaries feels mean. It feels like you're being a bad friend or a bad employee.
That's the people pleaser trap. But Brown argues that a boundary isn't the wall to keep people out. It's a gate to show people how to come in safely. If you don't have boundaries, you burn out, and then you resent everyone.
Right.
That's not being a good friend either.
So we've cleared the internal junk, we've rewired the brain, we've built the fortress walls. Now what? We just sit there and feel good about ourselves?
No. Now you build. This leads us to the final step. The last S.
Sculpting the life you want.
Yes.
Sculpting. I love that word choice. It's very artistic. It implies effort.
It implies agency. Think about a sculptor versus a piece of driftwood. Driftwood just floats wherever the current takes it. A sculptor looks at a block of stone and has a vision.
So this is the action phase.
This is the culmination.
Yeah.
The source describes this as taking intentional action toward goals. But here is the key, and this is where the sculpting metaphor gets really interesting. Sculpting isn't just about adding things.
It's about
removing things.
Oh, right. You have to chip away the stone that doesn't belong.
Exactly. And in life, that means cutting things out. If you're truly being your own bestie, you might have to look at your actual friends and say, you know what? This person makes me feel terrible about myself. I need to chip this relationship away. Or this job is destroying my mental health. I need to sculpt a new career path.
That is terrifying. That's way harder than just thinking positive thoughts.
It is terrifying. That's why it's step 4. You can't do this step until you have the strengths from the first 3. But this is the difference between drifting and living.
Right.
Most people are passive participants in their own lives. They drift. The sculpting phase is where you take the agency you've built up and apply it. You know your patterns, you're speaking kindly to yourself, you're protecting your energy. Now, what do you want to build with that energy?
It's like steps 1 through 3 are clearing the construction site and getting the right tools. Step 4 is actually building the house.
Or the statue, to keep the metaphor. It implies that you are the creator. You aren't stuck with the block of stone you were given. You can shape it. But you can only shape it if you have the chisel, which is that self-belief and those boundaries.
So that's the S.A.S.S method. Self-reflection, affirmations, standing your ground, sculpting. It's a tidy loop. But Misha Brown throws in a couple of other concepts that I think are really important to glue this all together, because he talks about accountability and authenticity.
These are the guardrails.
Yeah.
Because, look, self-love can sometimes be misinterpreted as narcissism or delusion.
Right.
I'm perfect, I never do anything wrong, everyone else is the problem.
Right, the I'm in my villain era vibe where you just trample everyone because I'm prioritizing me.
Exactly. And Brown is very clear. Being your own bestie doesn't mean blind validation. Think about your real best friend. If you were about to text your toxic ex at 2 a.m. after 3 drinks, what would a real best friend do?
Oh, they'd snatch the phone out of my hand. They'd say, absolutely not. Look at me. You're better than this.
That is accountability. And that is what you have to do for yourself. Being your own bestie means calling yourself out when you are slipping back into old habits. It's tough love. It's not just treat yourself to a spa day. It's check yourself. when you're acting out of alignment with your goals.
I love that distinction. It's not enabling, it's parenting yourself in a way, or friendshiping yourself. It's telling yourself to go to the gym, not because you hate your body, but because you love it and want it to be healthy.
Precisely. And that leads to authenticity. The ultimate goal of all this, of the S.A.S.S method, isn't just to be successful or happy in a generic sense. It's to be real.
No more performing.
No more performing. We spend so much of our lives wearing masks, trying to be the person we think our parents want, or our partners want, or society wants. The sculpting phase is about sculpting your life, not the life someone else handed you a blueprint for.
It really circles back to that first step of reflection. You can't be authentic if you don't know who you are underneath all the limiting beliefs.
It's a holistic system. Brown has created something here that feels simple. 4 steps. But if you actually do the work, if you actually sit with the discomfort of step 1 and the fear of step 3, it's radically transformative. It changes the fundamental relationship you have with your own existence.
It's funny because when you break it down like this, it seems so obvious. Of course we should treat ourselves well. Of course we should have boundaries. But we need the manual. We need the permission structure.
We do. We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
If our habit is self-loathing, we need a disruption. Be Your Own Bestie acts as that disruption. It interrupts the signal and offers a new frequency.
So let's bring this all home. We've gone through the S.A.S.S method. Self-reflection. Finding the bugs in the system, the triggers, the stories, affirmations, rewriting the code with kindness, even when it feels awkward. Standing your ground, protecting your energy, stopping the apology tour, building the gate, and sculpting. Intentionally building the future by cutting away what doesn't serve you.
That's the roadmap. And remember, it's a practice. You don't do it once and you're cured. You have to wake up and choose to be your bestie every day. Some days you will fail, some days you will be your own enemy. The point is to catch it faster and correct it with more grace.
It's a relationship status, and like any relationship, you have to work on it.
Ideally, it's the longest relationship you'll ever have.
That is true. You are stuck with you forever. You might as well enjoy the company.
Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave everyone with today. We started by asking why we treat friends better than ourselves. But I want to flip that slightly and make it personal to you, the listener.
Lay it on us.
If you are truly your own best friend, if you are in a lifelong partnership with yourself, I want you to look at how you've treated yourself over the last week. The things you've said to yourself in the privacy of your own mind when you dropped your keys or forgot an email. The way you've neglected your sleep or beaten yourself up over a conversation.
Okay, I'm scared of where this is going.
The question is this: if you treated your real-life best friend the way you currently treat yourself, would they still want to be your friend? Or would they have blocked your number years ago for being toxic and abusive?
That is a punch to the gut, but it's the right question.
It is. And if the answer is no, they wouldn't be my friend, then you know exactly where the work needs to begin.
That's where we're going to leave it for this deep dive. A huge thank you to the source material, Be Your Own Bestie by Misha Brown, for giving us plenty to think about and a lot of work to do.
Go look in the mirror and say something nice.
Yeah.
Or at least don't say anything mean.
Baby steps. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.
Grab Be Your Own Bestie by Misha Brown. Now on sale, $17.95. Don't miss this chance and build good habit and achieve remarkable results. Buy now today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.